any type of comfortable seat that works for you, whether that's cross-legged or in a supported hero pose. And once you feel settled and comfortable there, you can gently close your eyes and just let your hands rest in the lap, palms up or down, whatever is more comfortable for you. And as the movement in the eyes begins to settle, start to scan through your body. Just mentally checking in from head to toe, noticing how you're feeling this morning, and what the energy in your body is like. Noticing if there are any areas of holding or tension right now that you could possibly let go of. Or if any part of the body is really speaking to you today that might need some attention in our posture practice. Start to notice the rise and fall of your own breath. Noticing the soft sound of your breath. The temperature of the air. How fast or slowly you're breathing. Start to consciously slow down the natural speed of your breath, taking more time on your next inhalation to fill the lungs and expand around the ribcage. And more time on the next exhalation to slowly release that breath and gently contract. Just allow this pattern of expanding and contracting to move like a wave in and out of the body without any interruption. Just smooth and steady movement. And if possible this morning, breathe in and out the nose only. It's going to help keep the breath slower than if you're breathing through the mouth. And before we begin moving today, for the next minute or two, I want you to practice exhaling for at least 2 beats longer than you inhale. So for a few rounds of breath, maybe count how long it takes you to completely inhale. And then focus on extending the exhalation phase of the breath beyond the inhalation. Take 5 more breaths in this way. And after those 5 breaths, you can float the eyes open. On your next breath in, reach the arms up and over your head. Join the palms above your face and gently look up at the thumbs as you extend all the way up the spine, engaging through the lower back and abdominals. Take 3 more breaths here. And with your last exhalation, look forward as you slowly open the arms and release. Good, you can unfold the legs and come off of whatever you may have been sitting on if you elevated the hips. And we're going to take the feet about as wide apart as the yoga mat and support with your hands behind the back. Drop the knees back and forth a few times, side to side, to warm up the hips a little bit. And the next time that your knees drop over to the right side of your mat, they can stay down there. Come off of your left hand and twist to the back of the mat, spacing the palms about shoulder width apart. You can be on the hands or on the tips of the fingers if you prefer. And push against the mat to rotate the spine from the navel all the way up. We're going to keep the right hand connected to the floor. The next time you inhale, sweep the left arm forward and up above you. Lift your sternum toward the ceiling and gently lean back, supporting with the right shoulder. Take 3 deep breaths here. With your third exhalation, gently release the left hand back down and then unwind the twist facing forward and switching sides. Knees down to the left. You're going to come off the right hand and twist to the back of the mat, spacing the palms wide enough to support you here as you push the floor and rotate all the way up the spine. We're going to keep the left hand connected to the mat. Inhale, sweep the right arm forward and up above you, leaning back slightly as you lift your sternum toward the ceiling and support the upper body by really planting the left hand firmly and engaging through that shoulder. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release the right hand, and then unwind your twist facing forward again. Good, cross your ankles in front of you, lean forward, and we're going to step back into table pose, adjusting yourself so you're centered on your mat. We're going to plant the palms shoulder width apart and the knees hip width apart. On an inhalation, lift your tailbone, chest, and chin, looking forward or up. Exhale, drop the tailbone, round the spine, and tuck the chin. Again, inhaling to deeply arch the spine. Exhaling to round. And just continue on through both directions, moving at the speed of your own breath. The next time that you exhale through the rounded spine can be your last one. We'll return to a neutral table pose. From here, we're going to come into a balance by reaching the right leg back, extending all the way out through the heel, and then extend the left arm forward. One long line from the fingertips down the spine, out the heel. Press strongly against your right palm, active through that shoulder. A steady, even breath. One more deep breath in, and exhale. exhale, release the pose. Other side, extending your left leg all the way back, right arm all the way forward, finding that one long line, stability through the core, and strong active energy as you push down through the left palm. One more deep breath in. And exhale, release. We're going to keep the hips in line over the knees. Extend your arms forward. And exhale, allow the chest, armpits, and forehead to move down toward the mat. Half down dog. If the head doesn't touch the floor, don't worry. Just let the neck relax. But be active through the arms the way you would in the full posture. So a little different than child's pose here. You're pressing firmly against the palms, extending the elbows, feeling the biceps and triceps engage, and allowing your spine to fully extend. Take 3 more deep breaths here. And on your next breath in, lift your head and walk your hands back into table pose. From here, we're going to take a lunge, stepping the right foot in between the hands. If this feels challenging for your shoulders or upper back, you can grab blocks and place them underneath the hands instead. And slide the right knee a little farther back so the hips are positioned lower to the floor. And just take a few breaths here to allow the pelvis to move forward and down, deepening that bend in the right hip joint and the stretch in front of the left. And from here, we're going to inhale, reach the arms forward, drawing the spine up over the hips for a low crescent lunge. Extend all the way up the spine and keep reaching through the arms. Find one focal point to concentrate on here. From here, we're going to exhale the left hand down. Right arm's going to stay up as we rotate for spinal twist, revolving from the navel all the way up the spine and opening through the chest. We'll take a little shoulder rotation by turning the right thumb and arm in and then wrapping that arm around the back for a half bind, tucking that hand somewhere near the sacrum or the front of the left hip joint. And see if you can glide the right shoulder blade farther back, feeling it draw toward your spine as the sternum rotates up toward the ceiling. The next time you inhale, reach that arm up again, and then exhale, hand to the floor. From here, send your hips back in space for a half split or runner stretch. You move your hands or blocks back with you and pull the toes of the right foot off the floor so it's just your heel in contact with the mat. Try and keep your spine nice and long as you actively press the back of the hamstrings down toward the mat. One more deep breath in. Exhale and return to your lunge. Let's lift the back knee up off of the ground so you're in a high lunge position. If you've got blocks, put them aside. We're going to plant the palms and step to plank pose from here. Bring the feet and legs together. We're going to hold 5 deep breaths. Stay nice and strong through the core. Two more. With your last exhalation, you can come down through chaturanga or drop the knees first. We're going to lower all the way to the mat. Point the toes and squeeze the shoulders back. Inhale, roll up to cobra. Exhale, let it go. Twice more. Inhale, coming up to cobra. Exhale to release. And again, inhale. And exhale. Good. Tuck the toes. Inhale, press back up to the knees. And we'll set that up for the other side, stepping the left foot forward. You can grab blocks if you're using them for our low lunge. And slide your right knee a little farther back. A couple of breaths here. The next time you inhale, come up to that crescent lunge, drawing the spine in line over the hips, and then lengthening upward through the spine, through the arms, as you find one focal point to concentrate on. The next time you exhale, take your right hand to the floor and rotate for our spinal twist, drawing the navel and ribcage and chest open to the left side, actively reaching up through the left arm. And adding that shoulder rotation, turn your left thumb in and then rotate the whole arm as you wrap it around the back, tucking the hand either near your sacrum or front of the right hip, and glide that shoulder blade farther back as the sternum turns upward. Deep and steady breath here. Make sure you're always releasing the lower abdominals every time you inhale so that you can completely contract them every time you exhale. The next time you breathe in, reach the left arm up again, and then look down, exhale that hand to the floor. Send the hips back in space for our half split. You can move your hands or blocks back with you as we extend the left leg, stretching through the hamstrings. Here again, pulling the toes up so it's just your heel in contact with the floor, nice and long through the leg and the spine. One more deep breath in. Exhale, come forward again to your low lunge. Let's lift the back knee off of the mat and move the blocks aside if you have them. Plant your palms and step back to plank pose. Feet and legs together, holding 5 deep breaths. Two more. With your last exhalation, slowly lower down. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, release. Inhale, push up straight to plank or to table first. Exhale, lift back and adjust for downward facing dog. Separating the feet a few inches apart, spreading the fingers widely, and pressing back. So first down dog of the morning, feel free to move around in it a little bit or stretch the back of the legs if you want by pedaling the knees back and forth a few times. And if the hamstrings feel a little tight in this pose, you can always keep the knees slightly bent. Our priority is extending the arms and the spine fully. The next time you inhale, look forward. As you exhale, step your feet up to the front of the mat. Place the hands against the shins and inhale to the flat back position. Exhale and fold forward over the legs. Let's take that twice more. Inhale, nice and long through the arms and spine. Exhale, let it go. Once more, inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Hold on to your elbows, crossing here at the forearms, and allow the shoulders, head and neck to release down. 5 breaths here. After those 5 breaths, release the elbows. The next time you inhale, we're going to open the arms, come all the way upright to stand, reaching overhead, and exhale, release. We're going to come through some sun salutations, so make sure you're toward the front of your mat so you've got room to step back. We'll begin in mountain pose. Pose. On an inhalation breath, reach the arms up and over. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, press to plank or table. Exhale, lift back. Adjust for downward facing dog. Once you settle in the pose, take 5 deep breaths. One more breath in, look forward. Exhale, step to the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, reaching overhead. Exhale, release. Second round, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, push to plank or table. Exhale, lift back, downward facing dog. Adjust your stance if you need to, and then settle in, 5 breaths. One more breath in, look forward. Exhale, feet to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, mountain pose. Once more, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, step to plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, plank or table pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. And if at any point that we're holding down dog, you feel like you need a moment to rest or to recover your even breath, you can put the knees down and take child's pose. One more breath in, look forward. Exhale, feet to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, release. We're going to take a modified version of Sun Series B. We're going to stand with the feet together. We're going to start here in chair pose. On an inhalation breath, sit back as you extend the arms and spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plank pose. Deep breath in. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, table or plank. Exhale, down dog. From here, raise your right leg up and inhale. Exhale, step that foot all the way up in between the hands. We're going to modify here by keeping this stance, the high lunge, instead of warrior one. So your back heel is going to remain up here. On an inhalation breath, come up to balance here in high crescent lunge. Work on really lifting the back knee, keeping that leg nice and straight, and getting low in the front knee and hip. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release. From here, you can either go directly to down dog or add the second half of the sun salutation. Step into plank, exhaling, lower down. Inhale, cobra. push up. Exhale, down dog. Other side, raise your left leg and inhale. Exhale, step that foot all the way up in between the hands. We're going to stay here in the high lunge. Inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Find stability by really pressing against the front foot and lift that back knee nice and high. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release. Again, you can either go to down dog or plank. If you're in plank, we're going to exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, press to plank or table. Exhale, adjust for down dog. Let the head and neck release down. Press strongly against the palms. 5 breaths. One more breath in, look forward. Exhale, feet to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Scoot the feet together if they're not currently touching. Bend the knees deeply for chair pose. Inhale, extend the spine and arms. Exhale, stand all the way up and release. Gently close the eyes and stand here in mountain pose for a few breaths. Just noticing the energy in your own body. And focus on slowing the speed of the exhalation breath to help bring the heart rate down slightly. And once your breath feels calm and even again, you can open the eyes. And from here, I'm going to have you grab your blocks, and we're going to place the blocks at the front of the mat. And you're going to place them about shoulder width apart. Okay, we're going to maybe end up using those for pyramid pose if the hands don't comfortably reach the floor. So to set up the legs here, I want you to stand with your feet about hip width apart, and we're going to keep that hip width apart distance between the feet, even though we're going to be separating the legs. So we're going to keep the right foot forward, step your left foot back, keeping that hip width distance. And you want to go far enough back so that you can place the heel firmly on the floor, but not too far that it lifts up. So it's not quite as wide of a stance as warrior or triangle. Both legs are straight here. I want you to contract your quadricep muscles to help extend the knees and bring your hands to the waist. We're going to glide the shoulders and elbows back, opening the chest. The next time you exhale, lean the upper body forward as you feel your right hip joint draw back to counter that, keeping the spine nice and long. If you get to about a flat back position, we're going to hold at that point. You should feel a pretty deep stretch in the right hamstring. And let your arms just hang down. If you notice, mine don't reach the floor here. So if yours don't either, grab your blocks and place them underneath your hands, keeping that nice, long, flat back position. Good, deep, slow breath. Good, keep the quads nice and strong. If this is a strong enough hamstring stretch, you can stay in the flat back position. If you want a little bit more, we're going to let the upper body fold down, releasing the head and neck. At which point, perhaps your hands are closer to the floor. You can come off the blocks if that's the case. Good, if you're in the folded version of the pose, inhale, lift the head and chest, come back to your blocks and fully extend the spine. And then we're all going to bring the hands to the waist. Stay steady in the legs as we inhale, lift upright. Good, bend your front knee and exhale, just step forward. All right, let's take the other side. So feet are hip width apart. We're gonna step the right foot back. We want the whole heel in contact with the mat, both legs straight and the hip joints facing forward. Again, get strong in the legs, hands to the waist as we open across the chest. We're gonna exhale, lean the upper body forward as you feel your left hip joint draw back to counter that. Keeping the sacrum facing up toward the ceiling. Just go slowly. You may be different on the left side than the right. If you get to that flat back position, let your hands hang down and take the blocks if the hands don't meet the floor. Good, keep the breath nice and deep. If this is a strong enough hamstring stretch, stay in the flat back position. If you want a little bit more, you're gonna fold the upper body down to the front of the left leg, letting your head and neck drop. And at that point, you can try taking the hands on the mat. Good, keep the quads active. A few more breaths here. If you're in the folded version of the pose, inhale, lift the head and chest, come back to the blocks and extend your spine. And then we're all gonna bring the hands to the waist. Inhale, lift up. Bend your front knee and exhale, step forward. Good, you can put the blocks aside for now. And from the front of the mat, we're gonna take half the sun series. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, bend the knees and just step back to downward facing dog. Plant the palms firmly and just see how the back of the legs feel and if there's any more ability to extend here now that you've deeply stretched the hamstrings in that previous pose. From this down dog, we're going to inhale and raise the left leg up into the air. Look forward, exhale, step that foot all the way up in between the hands. Just help it up if it doesn't quite make it. We're going to lay the back heel down on the mat to open the hip and come up to warrior two. Left arm forward, right arm back. If you need to adjust the feet, go ahead. It should be a pretty wide space so that you can get down nice and low in the hips and the front leg. You can look over one of your front fingers here. Stay nice and tall through the spine. 5 deep breaths. From here, the next time you exhale, lean as far forward as you possibly can lean. Then let your left hand come down. If it doesn't touch the floor, grab the block that's there. Sweep your right arm forward at a diagonal angle away from that hip for extended side angle pose. Good, keep lifting and engaging that back knee. Actively reach the right arm away from the hip, lengthening through the waist. One more breath in. Exhale, look down and release the right hand to the floor. Lift that back heel up so that you're in your lunge. And from here, step back to down dog. In this down dog, it might feel nice to alternate bending each knee a couple of times, rocking the hips a little side to side, just releasing from those two poses. When you're ready for the other side, we're going to inhale, raise the right leg. Exhale, step that foot all the way through to your high lunge, and then lay your left heel down on the mat to open the hip. Inhale, come up to warrior two pose. Right arm forward, left arm back. And again, we want to get nice and low in the hips, so if the feet aren't wide enough to do that, you can inch them apart here. Stay tall in the spine as you actively reach the arms apart. From here, the next time you exhale, lean as far forward over the right thigh as you can. Put the right hand on the floor or grab your block and sweep your left arm forward at a diagonal angle, reaching away from the left foot. Extended side angle pose. Keep the back leg strong and straight, engaging through the quads to fully extend that knee. Couple more breaths. The next time you exhale, look down, release your left hand, lift that heel up so you're in your lunge again, and then plant the palms, stepping back, down dog. Again, you can alternate bending one knee, reaching the opposite heel down, just rocking the hips a little to release from the intensity in the hip flexors. And from here, look forward, inhale, exhale, step up to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to hold on to the elbows again here and just let the shoulders, head and neck hang down. 5 breaths here in your forward bend. And with your next exhalation, let go of the elbows. Scoot your feet together so that they touch one another. We're going to bend the knees deeply, sitting back for chair pose. Inhale, sweep the arms forward and up, extending the spine. 5 deep breaths here. The next time you inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, release the arms. Again, just stand here in mountain pose. You can close the eyes. Take a few breaths to let the heart rate come down and for the breath to smooth and slow down as well. Good. Float the eyes open once you feel ready. And we're going to take those blocks in the same position as we did for pyramid pose. And we're going to work on revolved triangle. So we're going to be starting from pyramid with the flat back and then building the revolved triangle from there. So let's have the right foot be the front foot. Step back with your left foot the same way we did, keeping that heel on the ground, both legs straight. You can bring the hands to your waist and glide the shoulders and elbows back. We're going to stay strong in the legs as we lean the upper body forward, hip joints back, especially that right hip joint, and find the flat back position and let the arms hang down here, grabbing the blocks so they fall right under the shoulders. Good, so keep the spine long and the legs strong and straight. Your left hand and block is going to come in a little closer to the front foot here. And then the right hand is going to come to your waist. We're going to start to turn the rib cage and chest to the right, revolving the spine. Good, really push down against your block. And you can adjust it if it's not supporting you under the shoulder. Good, from here, if the right arm feels free, reach that arm up to complete the pose. If it feels stuck or tight, you can just keep the hand right at the waist. Good, so more challenging than the pyramid pose here. Pay attention to that back foot. Make sure the heel is still connected to the floor. Good, everybody. Exhale the right hand back to the waist. Take out the twist so your upper body faces down and bring that hand back to your block. So you're here in the flat back position again. We're going to bring both hands to the waist. Inhale, lift up, bend the front knee and step forward. Good, other side. So your left foot's going to be the front foot. Step the right foot back. A big enough stance so that you can fold comfortably, but not too far back that the heel lifts off the ground. And we'll start in that nice upright position, shoulders and elbows back. On an exhalation, lean your upper body forward, draw the left hip joint back, flat back position here. Let the hands come down to the blocks, and just hold the flat back position for a few breaths, finding that strength and stability in the legs. And then for a revolved triangle, move your right block a little closer to the front foot, and then left hand to the waist. Start to turn using the strength of your core, rotating the belly button, rib cage, and chest, and then eventually reaching that left arm up if the shoulder allows. Good, everybody. Exhale the left hand back to the waist. Take out the twist, turning your upper body to face the floor. And you can find the flat back position again. And then coming out, hands to the waist. Lift the upper body, bend the front knee, step forward. Good. From here, we're going to take a forward bend, using a strap to assist for a shoulder opening. You can get rid of the blocks and find your strap, come into the front of the mat. You can fold it in half, you don't need the whole thing. And we'll stand with the feet just slightly wider apart than hip width. Take the strap behind your back and hold it between the fists as you roll your shoulder blades and elbows in toward each other. Reach the fists down toward the floor to extend the arms. And then put a slight bend to your knees. We're going to exhale, send the hips back, upper body forward as you fold. Bring your rib cage in contact with the thighs, and allowing your head and neck to drop down. If the ribs don't touch the thighs, just bend the knees a bit more here. And allow each exhalation breath to gradually lift the arms over the head. From here, we're going to exhale and lower the arms. You can put that strap down and let the arms just hang down. If the hands don't meet the floor here, bend the knees a bit more. Plant your palms and walk it back to down facing dog. Good. In this down dog, we're going to bring the feet and legs together. We're going to be coming back and forth between here and plank pose, working on gliding the shoulder blades simultaneously. On an exhalation breath, shift forward and come to plank, shoulders over the palms. Inhale, lift and glide back with the shoulders, returning to down dog. So just do that several times at the speed of your own breath. Always exhaling to plank so you can fully contract the abdominals and help support that pose. Focus on that gliding motion in the shoulder blades, having them move together at the exact same time. Let's take two more. And on that second one, we're going to stay there in plank. Shoulders over the palms. We're going to raise the right foot off of the floor an inch or two, three-limbed plank. 3 more breaths. Good, put that foot down. Other side, left foot off the floor, just a few inches. Rest of the body stays in plank. Good, exhale, release, lower the knees to the mat, separate them wider apart than hip width, and come back to child's pose. Let your arms and shoulders relax out in front of you, and gently close your eyes. Notice how you're feeling in your body at this point. Try and slow down the speed of the breath again. And then from here, I'm just going to have you lift your head and sit back on your heels. If this is not a comfortable way for you to sit, you can take a cross-legged seat. Just want to stretch the wrists a little bit. Let your right hand hang out in front of you like this. Take your left hand and just gently press the fingers toward your forearm, stretching in front of the wrist. Good, let that one release. Same thing for the other side, hand faces down, and then your right hand is going to just gently press the fingers toward the forearm. Good, let that release. Let the arms just hang down by your sides and take a few rolls of the shoulders. And from here, we're going to work on Dolphin Pose. So you're going to lean forward and bring the forearms onto the mat in table pose. Knees are on the mat. And we're going to cross the forearms and hold on to the elbows just to get a good starting distance for this pose. The first time we do this, we're going to clasp the fingers so you can interlace them. And whichever one of your pinky fingers is on the bottom, you're going to tuck that in so you have a flat surface. And start to actively push the fist and forearms against the mat and glide your shoulder blades back so they are not tight up by your neck. From here, tuck the toes, send the hips back, and lift the knees and hips up. Dolphin pose. Just like down dog, our primary goal is to deeply extend the spine. So if your legs don't extend, that's perfectly fine. It's much harder to straighten the legs in dolphin than it is in down dog. Continue to press against that fist, against the forearms, and press the chest toward the mat. Feel your spine pull into the body. And if at any point you need a break from this pose, just lower the knees. You can pause right there. You can go fully to child's pose. Good. A few more breaths if you're still with me. Try and keep the neck relaxed. The next time you exhale, gently lower. Let's take child's pose with the arms wrapped around the legs, hands resting by the feet, and let your shoulder blades separate away from the spine and melt down toward the floor. Good. From here, we're going to come back to that preparatory position, forearms on the mat. If that was already very challenging for you, you're going to take the same version of the pose with the hands clasped. You get a little bit more leverage and strength that way. If you're very comfortable with that, the second phase of the pose is taking the palms flat and the forearms parallel. So you can try that if you like. You can measure the forearms if you aren't familiar with the spacing. And then same thing, you're going to glide the shoulder blades back away from the neck so there's no tension there. Send the hips back and then lift the knees and hips up. If the palms are open on the mat in the second version of the pose, try and really press every knuckle down against the floor. Try and avoid any gap between the palm and the mat. Good, keep the breath slow and steady. If you're still with me, 5 more deep breaths. When you're ready to release, exhale and bring the knees to the floor. Again, we'll take child's pose with the arms wrapping around the legs. Let the shoulder blades separate away from the spine and sink down toward the floor. Letting go of all of that intense active energy from the shoulders and the upper back. And then you can take your hands in front of your knees, press the floor to lift yourself up out of child's pose. And we're going to take a seat from here. If you'd like to elevate your hips for some seated poses, you can grab that blanket and fold it up, or you can put your blocks side by side underneath you. All right, we're going to start with seated bound angle pose. You're going to bring the soles of the feet together and open the knees out to the sides. And hold the ankles or feet, whatever you're comfortable reaching, and squeeze the outer hips to open the knees and start to draw the spine into your body and extend, finding a tall, upright posture. Feel the collarbones widen and the shoulder blades draw down and back. And if this is a really intense hip opening, you can stay upright in the pose. You don't have to fold forward. If you'd like to fold forward, bring the chin toward the chest, pull against the feet or ankles, and guide your spine down and forward. Just little by little. If the elbows meet the inner thighs, you can gently press there to keep the hips open, or adjust where you're holding at your feet if that's a better grip. And just like Dolphin Pose, work on gliding the shoulder blades back away from your ears so they don't create tension up by your neck. The next time that you inhale, lift yourself back upright and bring the knees together. We're going to keep the right knee bent and straighten the left leg down in front of you. We're going to take a seated twist here. You've got two options. The right foot can either stay on the floor inside of the straight leg, or you can cross it over to the outside of that leg, which is just going to give you a little more pull and that stretch on the outer hip. So sit nice and tall. You're going to hold the knee with the left hand only. We're going to inhale and raise the right arm up, and then pull against the bent knee to help you rotate and place the right hand on the floor behind you. Each time you inhale, think of sitting up a little taller, and each time you exhale, maybe finding a bit more rotation. And you can turn the neck as much or as little as you like here to bring that twist into the cervical spine. And if you have a lot of rotation happening, you can bring the knee into the bend of the elbow for a little tighter connection, or you can cross the elbow outside of the knee and press against it. That's going to help give you a deeper twist in the middle part of the back. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale, unwind that twist. Good, let's switch legs. The right leg is going to extend in front of you. Bend the left knee and place the foot either inside or outside of the thigh. Hug that knee in close to you as you sit up tall. You're going to hold it with the right hand only. Inhale, raise the left arm. Pull against the knee as you exhale, rotate, and put that hand down behind you. Good. Keep the breath nice and smooth, always lifting taller as you inhale, rotating as you exhale. One more deep breath in. Exhale and unwind. So let's uncross this leg, and then we're going to come down off of whatever you were sitting on. You can put that aside, and we're going to sit here with the knees bent, hold the back of the legs. We're going to work on boat pose. So sit up nice and tall to extend the spine and draw the shoulders down. You're going to lean back just until you can find balance with the feet off of the floor, keeping the lumbar extended, and raise the feet as much as you're able to do here. You can either hold the back of the legs the whole time if this is already challenging, or we'll extend the arms fully for boat. Good, keep squeezing the inner thighs together, and even though you're contracting through the abdominals, still make sure you're inhaling deeply. One more deep breath in. Exhale, release. Take your hands behind you with the fingers facing the back of the mat, and we're going to just press against the feet and hands, lift the hips up for reverse tabletop, just to help stretch the hip flexors here. Good, exhale, sit back down. We're going to take that once more. Hold the back of the legs, sit up really tall, shoulders down and back. Lean back just until you can balance with the feet off the mat, and then raise them as much as you're able to here. And then if you can, we're going to let go of the legs and extend the arms. One more breath in. Exhale, release. Again, take the hands behind the back, separate the feet hip width apart, and just lift the hips up for that reverse tabletop, drawing the tailbone forward toward the knees to lengthen the hip flexors. Good, exhale, release. We're just gonna hold the back of the legs, tuck the chin to the chest, and roll your spine down one vertebra at a time, coming to your back. Once you are on your back, bend the knees and plant the feet as wide as your yoga mat, and let the arms float out to the sides, palms facing up. We're just gonna drop the knees back and forth a few times like windshield wipers. The next time your knees go to the right side of the mat, let them stay down there. And actively press the inside of your left knee lower to the floor. This should feel like a nice stretch for the hip flexor after boat pose. We're going to raise the left arm up and then back over your head away from that hip, giving more space to the waist, opening up the rib cage. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, release the pose. Left arm out and the knees back up. Good, keep that wide space between the feet. Knees go to the left. Press the inside of your right knee down toward the mat, rotating that thigh bone deeper in the hip socket and stretching the front of the hip. You raise your right arm up and then over your head, actively reaching away from the hip to expand through the waist and the rib cage. One more deep breath in. And exhale, release. Let's take the knees back up, and you can bring the feet together. We're gonna hug both knees into the chest and wrap the arms around the legs. Just rock a little bit side to side here, massaging the lower back and the hips. And then turn the knees around in a big circle several times in each direction. And then you can stop that circling, and we're going to keep the left knee here. You can slide the right leg down on the mat, Just let the right leg totally relax. And close your eyes here. And each time that you exhale, just allow your lower back to relax and flatten to the floor. And just gradually letting that bent knee move in toward the upper body. And from here, move the bent knee away from your upper body a little bit so there's space for our twist, and then we're going to cross the left knee over the body for a reclined spinal twist. Your left arm can float out to the side to counter, and you can give yourself an adjustment by moving the bottom hip over to the left side as well, so you get a little bit more rotation through the lumbar. Try and let every muscle in both of your legs relax here. And take 5 more deep breaths. After those 5 breaths, gently unwind the twist. Bend both knees and adjust your hips so they feel centered below your shoulders. And just pause there for a moment to let your spine and ribcage relax. And then slide your left leg down on the mat and hug the right knee to the chest. And we're just going to hold here a few breaths, allowing that knee to come close to the upper body each time you exhale, and feeling your low back relax into the floor. And then guide the knee away from your upper body so we have space for the twist, and then cross it over your hips, letting the right arm float out to the side to counter, and adjusting your bottom hip over to the right side of the mat a little bit as well. And let go of any holding in the leg muscles. Let this be a really passive pose. 5 more breaths. And after those 5 breaths, you can exhale and unwind. Plant both feet on the floor and adjust your hips so they feel centered below you. And just pause there briefly to let your back and ribcage settle and release from the twist. And then think about how you'd like to be during final relaxation, Shavasana. If there are any extra layers of clothing you want to put on, or any props you'd like to use to support your body so that you're more comfortable, you can go ahead and gather whatever you need. And then get yourself comfortable in a relaxed and reclined position. And I'll talk you through a little guided body relaxation. So once you feel settled and comfortable, gently close your eyes. And just take a moment here to scan through your body just like you did at the start of class this morning. Just going from head to toe, noticing if there are any areas that are still holding on to active energy from the posture practice. And if so, just keeping your attention on that point in the body for a few breaths and trying to consciously let it release. In Shavasana, there is no doing. So let go of any effort in the body. And take one final deep breath in through the nose and exhale out through your mouth. Feel your jaw, tongue, and throat release. And just allow your natural breath quality to return to your body now without any more focus on the breath. No longer breathing deeply or intentionally. Bring your awareness to the back of the neck and the top of the shoulders, and allow them to sink down into the floor, into the support if you have any. Feeling a heaviness from the front of the shoulder all the way down your arm to the elbow joint, and from the elbow all the way down to the wrist and through to the tips of the fingers. Allowing your arms to melt down. And visualize your spinal column and the natural curvatures in the spine. And then each time you exhale, just picture your vertebra decompressing and the disc softening as the spine settles into the floor. And allow every muscle that attaches at the spine to relax. Bring your attention to your pelvis, imagining that there was a heavy weight on the front of the hips. Letting your pelvis sink down into the ground and letting that heaviness move from the hip joints down the thighs to the knees, which are soft and relaxed. And from the knees down the calves to the ankles and out through the tips of the toes. And for the next few minutes, just let your body enjoy this state of rest. bring your attention back to the surface and lengthen your breath. And in your own time, move a little bit through the fingers and the toes, gradually waking up your body. You can take any other movement or stretch that would feel good to you here. And then eventually bend your knees and roll over to one side, just curling up into a fetal pose for a brief moment. And pause there and notice how you feel now after Shavasana. And staying with that feeling, just come upright to a comfortable seat, any type of seat, keeping the eyes still closed. Once you are sitting, start to breathe deeply again, extending the inhalation phase of the breath to help energize the body. Feel your spine lift and lengthen, the collarbones widen, nice and open. And we'll end our practice chanting Om one time. You can bring the palms together in front of your heart and take a deep breath in. Exhale and gently bow your head, acknowledging yourself for making time and space to practice this morning and expressing gratitude to your own body. And thank you all so much for joining me this morning.